Hello and welcome to the Semex podcast. My name is Clarissa McCallum, Marketing Coordinator at Semex. I'm joined today by Jonathan Merriam for our Jersey Proof update. We've got lots to talk about with bulls like To Be Famous and Chief's legacy and all of the sons and grandsons coming through, and as well as some new exciting bulls coming down our pipeline. So let's just get right into it. Let's start out on a really high note. To Be Famous is topping the charts with LPI, and we have quite a few blood family relatives with him. So can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yes, happy to. To Be Famous, kind of the excitement for CMEX this round. He's a bull that I actually talked a little about in April because he showed a lot of excitement with his preliminaries. The challenge, he didn't have quite enough daughters in his production proof to have an official LPI. And now he does. And he's ranks where we thought he would, and that's at number 1 on the LPI list. So Vivaldi has finally had another bull to overtake him, and it's one of ours, so we're very excited about that. To Be Famous is just an all-around bull. As we said, number 1 on the LPI chart. He's number 4 for pro dollars, and then he's also plus 13 on confirmation, which ranks him at a tie for 7th on confirmation. So a production type bull and health bull. He's 103 on herd life, and he's got really good udder health, being 108 on somatic cell score and mastitis resistance. So just a tremendous all-around bull. We've had lots of reports from breeders, lots of them sending pictures of daughters in. Just a real breeder satisfaction bull, beautiful high white rear udders. Tremendous quality of udder and milking ability, and so a bull that's really kind of a buzz around the industry and lots of excitement. And we've talked about Chief in the past, and here's his next generation making an impact on the LPI charts.
Yeah,
So that's exciting.
absolutely. Do you want to touch a little bit on Chief's impact? I mean, we talk about it every proof round, but we would be remiss to not talk about it, right?
Yes. Yeah. I've kind of been talking about Chief since I started at CMEX, and that's an exciting thing to be able to talk about a bull for that long. He continues to make a global impact. We hear about his daughters around the globe. I occasionally have opportunities to go to other countries and hear about the impact he's making there. Few bulls have the ability to sire the high, wide rear udders that Chief does, along with that production and udders that are going to last. And they grow as they get older and mature and are just doing well. Just a tremendous bull for production and type. And now we're seeing that through sons and actually grandsons. Already mentioned To Be Famous, but I'd like to kind of highlight a daughter because she's had a huge impact in the CMEX program, and that's Progenesis Madison. One of his early daughters, she's now scored excellent 92. So not only does she have the production and transmitting ability, but she looks the part as well. We've got nearly 60 offspring that we've registered from our program, bulls and heifers. And kind of the highlight for this week is one of her sons, Monarch, 200J1333. He's a Sinatra son that added daughters now, and he debuted at number 9 for JPI among proven bulls and number 11 for Cheese Merit Dollars. And he's an Immunity Plus bull. So he's got the production traits, but he's transmitting that high immunity ability to have not only his calves, but as they mature into cows, they have that natural ability to fight off disease and stay healthy. And so that's going to be a big impact for him. I feel receiving lots of good reports on daughters, on how they look, really good udders, the rear udders that we see from that maternal line going back to Chief. Some of his sons that we are aware of that have been used fairly heavily, Mastodon, Cool, and Ramstein. And then I also wanted to mention one of his daughters that we've used in our program, and that's Progenesis Minerva. And we'll be seeing lots of two of her sons, Moonstorm and Moonstar. They're full brothers that are in the top 50 of the breed for JPI. They'll be released within the next month or so. Just two bulls that we're really excited about, the traits they have to offer, and the impact they're going to have. So I could talk a lot about different chief bloodlines, but those are kind of the highlights for today, and just kind of a touch of now it's the third generation that's going to start making an impact, tracing back to chief, and just an example of what a genetic giant how they can impact the breed.
Absolutely. He's had an incredible impact, and we've been talking about him since we started the podcast. So it's always fun to see how his sons and now his grandsons are doing, which is just fun for everybody, right?
Yes.
Focusing a little bit on the US side of things. So Michigan came in at number 2 for CFP. Can you tell us a little bit about him? I know we've talked about him, we've touched on him in previous episodes, but what's his story?
Yeah, he was a little bit of a highlight last time as well
Mhm.
because of his CFP. He ranks second. He's actually a River Valley Heritage son, which is a bull that we used a fair bit in our program and was used throughout the U.S., a high production bull. Michigan's Dam is a Thrasher daughter. Thrasher is a breeder-proven bull or a daughter-proven bull that has thousands of daughters throughout the U.S., a high production bull, but also a good fertility bull. And so mating that production of heritage as well as a Thrasher daughter while improving the fertility from that Thrasher daughter, we ended up with Michigan, who's a high CFP bull and better fertility than his sire. And so he's just making a real big impact. 2 sons that I've already mentioned are Moonstorm and Moonstar. So we crossed Michigan with that high monarch daughter, Minerva, and ended up with 2 really good sons that we're excited about. They are full brothers, but both are going to have a place in our program, and I think we'll have a place in a lot of breeders' programs. They're just solid bulls, good production, good udders, and good health traits. So I think we're going to see them used quite a bit. So Michigan is exciting. He's sold tens of thousands of units of semen. So his story's kind of just begun with his daughters and sons just reaching the age of production. So we'll see probably early next year what those daughters are like as they start calving in. But a bull that we're really excited about that's been in the program. And then a couple new bulls that are right towards the top. One is Outsider, 200J 1608. He's actually a bull that we purchased from a competitor. They had a few extra bulls that they offered. We picked him up mainly because he's an outcross. As you know, a lot of the studs do what they can to kind of work with the genetics they have to continue to improve those. And so if we have an opportunity to get an outcross, we want to try and do that. So that's why we purchased this bull. He was a little lower ranking because of that outcross and a few of the traits he had. We wanted to try and purchase him, which we did. He's already in a collection. He's got some semen that's past quality, so we should see a release on him soon. But the nice thing about this bull is he actually jumped 20 JPI points and now is in the top 10. So not only is he outcross to our program, but he's elite as well. So he'll be used quite heavily as a sire of sons and be able to hit the market fairly soon as well. And then Man of War is our another kind of highlight bull that's in the top 10 at 184 JPI. He's actually a 200J 1426 Ting P son out of a Latitude, another Semex bull. Unfortunately, Man of War did not inherit the pole gene from a sire, but he inherited a lot of good traits from both sides, good on his components, real good on health traits and udders. So he's a bull that we've used fairly heavily already in our IVF program, and he should also have semen to be released within the next month or so. So just some exciting bulls towards the top that we're going to be working with and adding diversity to the program.
And kind of on that wavelength, as far as CFP, there's 2 polled bulls that I think we may be interested in talking about a little bit, whose calves are just hitting the ground now. If you want to kind of give a little bit on those.
Yes, happy to. So Excalibur P is the first one. He's one that ranked fairly well in April, and he still ranks high. He's the number 1 CFP polled bull at 102 CFP, and he happens to be a Michigan son. That shows where it's that importance of utilizing certain elite genetics in your program, and now it benefits those with the polled gene. You mate Michigan to a donor that's polled, and you've got that chance of getting a polled calf, and that's what we did here with Excalibur. So just a tremendous production bull across the board, and we're very excited about him. We've been using him for quite a while. And then Ernest P is about the same age. He actually came up a little this time. He's a ludicrous son. He's actually the number 2 CFP bull in the breed at 98 CFP. A lot of that coming from Ludicrous, who happens to be the number 1 fat bull in the breed that's available. Ernest P is actually out of a full sister to Ting P, the sire of Man of War. So again, the importance of families and certain traits. So that's exciting to see. We've actually got 2 Ernest P calves on the ground. You kind of alluded to that. A bull calf out of a Michigan dam, again, utilizing those elite genetics. His first genetics are at 182 JPI and 600 cheese merit. And then Ernest P has a heifer calf at 175 and 608. So not the extreme elite, but for the first ones coming through, we're excited about what he can do. And then that added bonus of having the polled trait, which we're seeing more and more interest here and there, particularly in some of the other countries. So it's an important trait to have in our lineup, and we want to continue to try and improve the production with that trait and offer more opportunity. And I think that's what these 2 bulls are going to help with.
That's an exciting 2 bulls to be looking forward to, especially with that polled gene, for sure.
Yes.
To wrap things up kind of in a nice bow, we can only talk about so many bulls on a podcast episode highlighting proofs, but we of course have lots of genetic diversity in our lineup. Can you just kind of touch on what that looks like and how excited we are about that?
Yes. Well, the first few minutes I've spent, you see the importance of utilizing certain impact genetics. Chief, his daughter Madison, and what she's doing. Michigan, Son of Heritage, and what they do to our lineup. So it's important to find those bulls that have certain genetic traits, particularly production, so profitability, and utilize them in the program. But it's also important to have diversity because you don't know with genomics, sometimes they change once they add daughters. And so we want diversity in our program. That's one of the goals that we continue to strive for. And I think we have and continue to achieve that. And an example of that, so the top 10 GJPI bulls for Semex, of those 10, they're represented by 7 different sires and 7 different grandsires. So that shows the diversity there. And it just so happens those that are by the same sire and grandsire, there's 3 full brothers from one dam and 2 full brothers from another, which 2 of those are the Moonstar and Moonstorm that I've already referred to. And then we've got a donor that we used out of a Hendrix bull, which is a Vieira bull that we used a couple daughters from. She's got 3 sons, all in the top 10 for us for GJPI. So again, the importance, we want that diversity, but if you utilize the right cows and bulls, you're going to get quite a few towards the top. And so that's what we've achieved there. And we're real excited about that. They'll be released later this year. But also, we want that diversity in all our markets. And so when I look at the top 10 for GLPI, bulls at Semex, those are represented by 6 different sires and 9 different grandsires. And so that's exciting to see because as in the past, little more so in the LPI market because just a little smaller genetic base, you kind of had a lot of the same bulls towards the top, but we've been able to get some different donors and therefore different sires resulting from that. So we're getting more diversity of bulls that are hitting high for LPI and still have that production combined with the conformation that is so sought after in that market. So I think it's just important in case 1 or 2 of these sires end up dropping, we've still got enough diversity that the lineup is still strong. And that's going to happen with genetics. And sometimes it'll happen the other way and we'll have a bull that jumps up. So that diversity helps with those. And the importance of deep pedigrees, because we've found that those with deep pedigrees don't tend to change as much once the daughters are milking as those that just had high numbers, but not much pedigree. So exciting bulls available and exciting bulls to come.
Absolutely. I'll be looking forward to our upcoming proof chats and podcasts to see where we end up a few down the line and talking about these same bulls.
Yes, exciting to see the growth and the next generation.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Jonathan, for joining me. And I'm always excited to hear about our jersey lineup and as a Jersey girl myself. So thank you.
My pleasure. Always happy to talk jerseys.